Massive show ahead. We break down the Prophet Propeller kick for cash last week at Port Arlington and how much fun that was. Check it out. The vlog's on YouTube now.
Daisy did his power rankings. Now, if you're an avid football follower, there is so much detail in his power rankings in terms of offense, defense, and then the run home. So if you're keen, listen in because it gives a great in-depth analysis.
We break down everything, but this is all about this week. Round 20, the rivalry round. Check it out right now because this is a big show. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces AFL show. It's round 20 already. Can you believe it? It's the business end. This is when all the wins matter. The top 8 is tight. I tell you what, we're joined by Mitchie Wallace and Daisy Thomas, and it was tight down at Port Arlington last week when Wal had a shot from 20 metres out. It just snuck in. Nearly cost the club 1K. Wal, how'd it feel putting a K in the kitty?
It felt good because the first 2 kicks went away with just actually the second kick. I'm not sure what the lad's name was. Can you remember?
Oh, Pritchie. It wasn't. I don't think it was Pritchie because Pritchie was the one that bombed that phone from 50.
But he kicked it off his shin.
I've actually
just come through.
Keep going. I've got the list right here.
And then, so we started off really well. Started off with $3,000 in the kitty quite quickly, and then we hit a few speed bumps. But I think, again, we'll go into the highlights of the night. But I was very happy when mine did sail through.
It was Pritchie. I apologise. Daisy's all over it because he watched it on YouTube.
Yes, hello and welcome, Daisy. Thank you, boys. Great to be here as always. Just chat amongst yourselves.
Didn't like the less pump up today, just the subtle.
I demand it. It needs no intro, but demands one. No, well done. I did watch it. Spewing I couldn't be there, had commitments up in Hamilton Island, but terrific job. Bloody fantastic to give back to the local community. You boys getting there, Billy as well, and raising some serious cash too. You asked, well, how'd it feel to drop 1,000 in? How'd it feel to knock 1,000 out?
I was just waiting for you to say that. To knock 2,000 out, my dribble kick hit the post.
Was it worth
$2,000 the dribble kick. It hurt, if I'm honest. I kicked it too hard.
You did.
But it didn't grip.
Bite, mate.
It didn't bite. And
was it a drewy night?
Nah,
it was
to be honest,
it was about -5.
Yeah,
So there's a chance.
There was there's a lot of ice on the deck.
Was.
But like, you know what an amazing club it was. You rolled in, the lights were good, the turnout was amazing. Yep. Everyone was so nice, and we'll go through the people, but we just mentioned Pritchie. He was the one that just missed the easy one from 20. Sorry, he snuck it in. We thought he missed the 20-metre one, but it was. I think the kick of the night went to Kelly Pickard. Yeah. He had a shot from 50 metres out, and at the time we'd missed 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And the kitty was only at $5,000, and then
that was for 4.
That was for 2,500.
Yeah.
So that took the kitty to 7,750, and then the $4,000 torp that went through as well, which obviously took it to the total of 11,750, which is amazing.
One of my favourite things was watching you guys on the fly add the mass up. Hey man, you got $2,714. No, that can't be. Yeah, next kick.
Well, they activated beast mode, and I cooked it on the night. I accidentally counted too much money, but. As I said, amazing night. And if anyone's watching this show or listening, go on YouTube and have a look at it. The production and the whole team. Shout out to everyone that was involved. You know who you were because it was a huge team effort.
Talk about bringing the pressure though, because even doing a quick 10-second interview after the kick, feeling their heart rate and the shivers, especially of Carl who nailed the kick, mind you. It meant a lot to him, and the pressure definitely got to some of those players.
My heart rate just picked up as soon as the ball. Yeah. Once you had the ball in your hands and everyone's watching, and you know that there's money on the line. Like it's $2,000 a kick. Everyone's heart just started racing, and it was awesome fun.
Great initiative though, Tommy. Well done for seeing that through.
Well, big shout out to PointsBet. We're powered by PointsBet, and that was all possible by obviously them. So. No, well done, guys. And Daisy, we need you there next time because I reckon you'll kick one through. You got the
one. My heart rate wouldn't get above 40 beats a minute.
Well, let's make sure you're there next. Righto, Daisy, what have you been up to, mate? You got a nice salad there.
I got a fresh trim. Yeah, bit of a performance cut. You better believe that. It's nearly finals time, but I think I've gone too early. Round 20 used to get to we got 2 weeks of footy. 22 rounds. We're into it. We've still got 5 rounds of footy, a bye, and then grand final. So there's still so much to play out. We'll touch on the power rankings a bit later. And I've also done predicted finishes. I've crunched all the numbers. I've got me man Swamp there at 7 to send some stuff through with predicted wins, some form lines. So there's a fair bit of interest in that, and it is bloody tight.
Oh, I can't wait. That's right. Daisy's power rankings is coming up. It's the key feature today on the show.
And some people will be ropeable because it is like I've just done it as I saw from that period. It is pretty rogue.
Well, we don't know what you're going to put out there, so we're looking forward to seeing it. All right, well, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room. We needed more Sage last week, and I let us down on a Friday night slot, which I've told you boys, don't go Friday night unless you're confident. Sam Darcy kicking one goal, it hurt, boys. I don't know whether that's the curse, but what I will say is, in my defence, Matthew Lloyd, one of the greatest forwards of all time, even defended the propeller without knowing what he was doing. He said on his show, that he just can't believe Darcy is playing up at halfback or on the wing at centre half forward, and he needs to be the Wayne Carey in the goal square. And that's exactly what I said on the night on the Instagram story. Why is Darcy playing up on the wing? Put him in the goal square so they can kick goals. Obviously, Aaron Norton's flying, but put them both next to each other. I just couldn't believe how high he was playing. And I mean, you watch, he'll come out and kick 6 this week against the Dons. I haven't locked him in just yet. I was thinking about following up, but what were your thoughts on that?
I just think, like, we've since Sam Darcy's come back from his injury, you know, he began on such a high. So there was this expectation that he was going to deliver 4 or 5 goals every week. But if you look at it, he's still a young player in this system, and to come off an 8 or 9 week injury, deliver that, but then consistently deliver that from the end of until the end of the year, I think that was a little bit beyond expectation. So I think he's fallen off a little bit in his output. So in terms of the timing of picking your 3 goals against a team on the second on the ladder, look, I'm not bagging it, but I think there's more to it than him just not kicking goals. I think he will start to feel a little bit of fatigue because he wouldn't have the training belt and the consistency of games of a full season. So, look, whether you're playing full-time forward, I still think he needs exposure because he is so multi-skilled as a player, and to hone some craft in the ruck. Because if Tim English were to go down, you know, in a final, who do you throw it to? And I don't think you'd be throwing it to Aaron Norton because he doesn't have that skill set. But if you can develop Sam Darcy to be a viable option around the ground for a ruck contest, and even playing centre half back or on the wing, he is such a weapon in your arsenal to pull out on a big stage.
I would say, yep, well said, but he was actually dominating where he was. He was taking huge contested clunks. It's like when he marks it, though, you go, geez, I'd love him to be the next kick down the line. So, you know, I like what you're saying, Wal. It's been amazing how he's come back from that injury, but I just couldn't believe how high he was playing. Daisy?
The trend is Norton, though. So since Sam Darcy's come back, Norton's output has been massive. We often see players, when one of the big dogs go out, they go, right, this is me, it's all coming to me. I think that became so predictable. Like he was not kicking multiple goals. I think it was 1 time or 2 times throughout that period he was away. Sam Darcy comes back in 3-5-5-2-3-1, like in that chunk there. So he's gone ballistic purely because of the fact that Darcy attracts so much attention and so much of a crowd. But I hope you have locked him in this week for your propeller bet because, as we've seen, it's the curse, and then the next week they come out and...
Well, I'm thinking about it. It's just a Friday night. I've got a few, and we'll talk about this.
It was the frog dog that's only sort of... You really put the slows on him.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the propeller later on, and if you've checked out our social media, we've already announced the team that's on the propeller this week. We'll obviously read them out later on in the piece. All right, I've got some... I've got... You remember our man Tipper from North Footscray?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting uglier for Tipper. I've got some mail here from Tanner from the North Footscray Football Club. I think he's the skipper, Tanner.
So for anyone who's catching up, Tipper was the man who put forward. He was a representative.
Yep, he was the one that represented North Footscray, and he selected
Mitch.
I don't want to drop his name, but Mitch Georgiades kicked 3-5 and cost his club $28,100. And since then, he has been the man in charge of the fines. He's been given the arse. The boys can't have him. They said, we can't have you as the spokesperson anymore. So I've got good mail here that he's been given the arse. And it gets worse. So,
poor old Mitchie.
So when you're the vice captain, when you're the vice captain of a club and the captain goes down, what normally happens on game day?
No.
There hasn't
Not
been
a demotion.
A power shift, and he's been
selected
skipped.
the third in charge, and he's been named the skipper for the day. And apparently, it's just caused all sorts of dramas. So Yeah, he's just been. They reckon Georgiades has ruined him.
Well, was Tipper enjoying the bit of me time? Was he on the? I just got to his head.
He was a bit of a wobble.
Just a bit of a wobble about it.
So, Tipper, if you're listening,
we still love you, and that was a crook beat. Those guys should go easy on you.
I think the footy club need to just lighten up and have you as skipper.
Goal.
Yeah, 8 shots on goal. So anyway, a little bit of mail there from Tipper. Hopefully, Tipper is back. We have the graveyard. Let's remind people the graveyard's coming. Daisy, you just mentioned how long this season is. Finals. We're going to have 4 weeks. We're picking 4 clubs from the graveyard. And I tell you what, there's a good case there for North Footscray to be on there. Anyway, we keep moving on. The Dockers, boys. Did you watch? I mean, Daisy, before I start, did you watch that game?
I did.
Why is there no slab? Well,
there is a slab.
There is.
Yeah, I got your Primus because that's all you deserve.
I want vodka soda and they're about $140 down at BWS or down. Yeah. They're unbelievable. That's what I would like,
you had to
Daisy.
drink them in one sitting, wasn't that the?
Responsibly, of course. All of that gear. No, they were good, the Dockers, but the Pies should have put them away. They just managed to hang around, and look, I can't take anything away from Fremantle because we have seen Collingwood. And there was a Jamie Elliott kick early in that fourth quarter, I think it was, and that was to put the margin out past 20-something points. And I reckon that was going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Misses it, goes up the other end. They hung around, and their last quarter numbers were absolutely off the charts. When you think of the Pies and what they do and their pressure, Freo absolutely slapped them.
Can we talk about our man, the prancing pony?
Of course we can.
First game on the MCG, 6 goals. That is extraordinary stuff.
So he got delisted by Essendon. Yeah. Last time they were on the G, they kicked 4 goals. the entire side. I pinched that one from the midweek rub, but that is good gear. I've got a video, we might get up on the socials. After the game, the side's about to go off. You know, give the footies out.
Yeah.
He went to the opposite forward pocket, like dead set. He was strutting. He was awesome. And he is going to be now, we're seeing the 3 forwards for a lot of clubs. He's the point of difference. Come on,
it's the Jake Belsham role, isn't it?
It is.
He's gone to their roll-off defender in Moore, and he said, I'm going to make you accountable. And what people don't realise with Vossi, he is lightning quick. He's very quick off the mark. So as soon as he saw someone coming inside 50, bang, he's on the lead. And he kicked truly 6 goals straight. It's amazing, really. Like, first game on the G, and to be delisted from another club, you know, it's very hard to turn your career around when you have that disappointment. To do it so quickly, and then to have a year that he's had. He got subbed. We're going to talk about this in a second. JL, if you're listening, it's the worst thing you've done in the last couple of weeks. You subbed Vossi. Maybe it was all right because it's fired him up. But
that was a quick change of tune. What are you doing? You're an idiot. You're a genius.
I still think it's poor coaching because you would have got the same output from Vossi. But I'm going to give you a little, a little positive as well. Yep. Playing Hayden Young just for 1 quarter and letting him just light it up. Geez, that was a masterstroke.
One kick, wasn't it? That kick to.
But that's what he does. He had a massive quarter.
But I think the biggest thing, we talk about 6 goals and breakout games, and we talked about Aaron Cabin a couple of weeks ago with his 5 goals, but it's against the best in the competition. I think there's a weighting there that has to skew that to be more severe and more important. On the G, against the raging hot premiership favourites, to do it on that stage, I think that has a fair weighting. So, like you said, Daisy, before, he's got a big role to play come this back end because now they're 2 games clear of 9th, and it was a big win in terms of, again, how the season's going to end up and where they sit.
Some of those numbers from the last quarter. So Collingwood led by 22 points, 5 minutes into the last quarter. Fremantle's pressure factor in the last quarter, 192 to Collingwood's 177. So Collingwood, if they win that by 15 across the game, they don't care where that sits, they win games of footy. That got turned around after Collingwood's pressure quarters 1 through 3 sat at 205. Wow. So Fremantle just literally weathered the storm. They knew it was coming and then pushed on. Collingwood kicking efficiency of 47%. Their season average has been 68, so that just means heat on the ball carrier. Fremantle, 26 of their 26 points were generated from the back half. Inside 50s last quarter, 16-9. Fremantle had 24 inside 50s in the first 3 quarters, and Collingwood had 4 intercept marks in D50. The last time they played, when Fremantle had a stack of the ball inside 50, didn't score, they took 16. That's a lot of a reason why Vossi was so important going to your Darcy Moores.
Yeah, it was. Well done, by the way, Daisy. That's just incredible stuff. That is why he is the man. He's on everything. Triple M7 and Ace's AFL show. This bloke is the number 1 in football at the moment. Daisy, well done. That's awesome. But Fremantle right now that they've got, I did say to you last week, they're getting the Pies at a great time. You know, the Pies, no Bobby Hill, no De Goey. I think Tim Membry pulled out before the game. No how. There's a couple others I'm missing here. Some Billy Frampton down back. Like there's a lot of players that probably aren't there because they're not fit and available, where the Dockers, I think they're fully loaded. I don't know if there's anyone they're missing in their side. So it was a bloody big win, though, to win on the road, because I've spoke to you boys on the show last week about they are ready to go because they've had such disappointing performances in Melbourne. And if you look at Fremantle's form...
Well, that's what I've done, yeah.
It should be all wins bar one in the last 7 or 8, is it?
Since round 10, they've had one loss, 4, 6, 8. Does that make sense?
It should be 8 wins and 1 loss, according to my...
Yeah, 8 and 1. And the loss was to Sydney by a point. They've knocked off the Hawks, the Pies, GWS in there, and the Gold Coast Suns.
So this is about consolidating, because we've got the next 2 weeks. They've got 2 home games.
Easy games.
Against West Coast and Carlton. So
they can't drop these games because that's like the Sydney game. They shouldn't have dropped that, and then it bites you in the ass for all the hard work you've done, because they started the season like bastards. We were saying it's been one of the great disappointments. And then they've turned it around. You can't afford to drop any of those games.
No, and then they're finishing with Brisbane and
the Dogs. The Dogs is the last one.
And if the Dogs are playing for their spot in the 8, that could crack up to be an absolutely huge
Well, they could potentially both be playing.
I can't wait to get to Daisy's power rankings because I just want to see who's at 8 because it's going to be interesting stuff.
I've gone 9.
Yeah.
Oh, you've put a 9 in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it should be easy, the 9, shouldn't it? Unless there's controversy.
It's
anyway, we keep moving.
We'll pick it apart.
We keep moving. A little bit of mail on my desk before we get to some breaking news. On the Instagram page, keep sending them in. This is great. But Jordan Ryan has flicked in, is that young Wal? The AFL put out a photo yesterday. And you've got Darcy and Liver Senior there, and they're getting carried off. I'm not sure what happened here, but you see the photo. I'll get it up on the big screen here if we can, Brado. And have
gorgeous.
A look at this good-looking little blonde-haired boy. Is that you? Can we confirm this?
That is me, and that was our St Bernard's Footy Club team. It was Tony Liberatore. He's obviously Tom. Played with St Bernard's as well. It was his last game, so 283 games, retired, and as part of the celebration, the whole footy team of the under-9s got to run around and do his lap of honour with him. So a very special moment in, obviously for me as a young kid, but looking back, to be a part of that was pretty special.
Just if you are following along and you've got any insight into this, why did we all have white blonde hair as kids and then it ends up brown?
And a little bit grey on the side as well. I'm starting to get white beard. Yeah, mousy.
Yeah. Mousy colour.
It's a good question. Is anyone out there? Maybe in the YouTube comments. We're lacking the YouTube comments. We haven't got back to 30.
Step it up.
Step it up and let us know why your hair darkens when you get older.
Yeah. Or some tips of how to get it back to the some regime.
So had you straightened yours in that one, or it's just gotten curlier over time?
It's just gotten curlier. I used to want to cut it really short when I was younger, and then found out that the long flowing locks was more of the way to go. So.
Very beautiful kid.
Why was Luke Darcy getting carried off there as well?
Legs were sore.
200 games.
So 200 games and Tony's last game. How good's that? We should bring that back. An under-9 side getting a run out. Maybe, this will lead into my next one, but Sam Docherty's going to hang the boots up at the end of the year. Imagine his last game and he can bring his local football club up and they can run around the Marvel or the G with him for his last game. That would be incredible.
I don't know about you guys, but when you run out into the field and there's a different occasion, or whether it is with young kids or kids suffering some disabilities, that moment in time is so special for those kids, and the kick that you got out of it as players to be able to share those experiences with those kids. I think it's such a beautiful part of the footy. And looking back, I treasure some of those moments. And the more often they do that, I think the better for everyone.
Absolutely.
Well said. Well, we'll get into Sam Docherty in a second, but Daisy, there's just another thing that's been pissing me off. And
what is it?
It's your voicemail, mate. I struggle to get onto you, but every time I call you, it's your missus leaving a voicemail, and I always get concerned I've called the wrong number or something, and then I've realised, nope, that's just you. But how long have you had your voicemail with your partner saying, sorry, Dale can't be there at the moment, but if you'd like to leave a message or something like that, it's unbelievable.
I'm going to double down here too, because if I call you in the car and my wife's sitting next to me and then your beautiful partner is on the message tone, I'm like, I promise, babe, this is how it's meant to be. It's not what it looks like.
What's going on there?
Well, I don't often answer my phone. I'm sort of, I find it slightly strange. I'll ring people, but I don't like being rang myself. I sort of like to leave that up. So it simply says, I can't get to the phone. If it's important, shoot me a text. Otherwise, I'll get back to you. I think it says 8 to 15 working business days.
Yeah, something like that.
If it is important. But I'll tell you what, the amount of people that ring and then don't text is like, well, can't have been that important.
Well done, Tash, because it pisses me off for some reason. I don't know why. It always just rattles me, but it's different. Well, it's good to do something different.
Thank you.
All right, let's turn our attention. Let's be a bit more serious. But Sam Docherty has announced his retirement yesterday. Daisy, you've played with Dockers. Talk to us about him as a teammate, and it's obviously been more than football for him.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest part, I guess. Well, not the biggest part, but part of his story and just how he's carried himself throughout so much adversity. The knees are one thing, injury, but then to have, life-threatening cancer, we know how serious that is, and then to have it come back after you've gone and done everything to get yourself back. Tremendous career. Love when he spoke during the week. We saw some clips from Carlton media about talking to Paddy Cripps about how much he loved working alongside him, how much he valued everything they'd done, and was disappointed they didn't get to the promised land, but still really proud of the effort they did. But, universally just a ripper bloke, but I think admired by everyone in the footballing landscape for just what he's done. To overcome one knee's massive, numerous injuries and the cancer. Well done to him. Congratulations on a fantastic career. He will be someone who thrives post-career as well. He won't be lost to the game. He's going to do magic things, but go and enjoy your Thursday night footy, Sam, and all the very best, and well done on a great career.
Very well done, Daisy. Well done, and shout out, mate. That's awesome. Is he playing for the rest of the year? I haven't caught. Is he
last game Thursday?
Wow, so geez, doesn't that change
What about
the
that
tune
clip?
of that game?
I'm not sure if you. It was going through social media when he did come back and he kicked that goal.
Yeah.
Talk about the hair standing back on the back of your neck, standing up.
Thursday night footy, round 1, MCG.
It was something
And
special.
it was about 50 metres. It was like a 45-metre kick, wasn't it? It wasn't an
I
easy
think he
one.
got a 50-metre penalty and took him to the spot.
Yeah.
So you talk about things just happening for the reason. But even that clip, and we're slight diversion here, just the presence of the Blues in that photo, as opposed to what I'm sort of seeing at the moment, and I don't want to take anything away from
Hopefully
Doc.
we get a moment like that this week.
If you're going to lift, and the spike will come, it's whether or not they can sustain it, but if you're going to find a way to get up for a bloke and you want to encapsulate heart and soul and what a football club is all about rather than just games played, it's for that bloke.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually really looking forward to that game because I thought it'd be a dead rubber, that one. But
now it's got spice.
Yeah, you're looking at it now. You got Hawthorn taking on Carlton there Thursday night, but with that at the G, short, and they played all right last week, the Blues.
Well,
so
they get a win. The monkey's off the back. Just the shoulders drop. Everything becomes a bit better. It's a positive week around the club.
Well,
you've got this.
It is. It certainly is. But there's still a little bit of noise, and I've got to just hit it on the head quickly. It's all about Charlie Curno's camp, and there's a few rumours around the Suns. I've got a quote graphic here from Vossi. Charlie's a Carlton man, and he'll stay a Carlton man. Daisy, what's going on in this area? Because I wouldn't have thought he's going anywhere, but talk to me.
I'm going to jump on your coattails. Do you want to lead this one?
You can go.
No, I can't see him moving. Like he's a superstar. There's always been enough conjecture around Carlton and the coning and things and instability and coaching moving. There's so much happening at Carlton, at the footy club. You cannot pass on this star or moving on. So I think be strong. Be united in your approach when you are facing media as a Carlton Footy Club and say that he's going nowhere. Look, the whispers from management, I'm not sure whether they're validated or not, but I know Charlie. You probably know Charlie quite well. He's a proud person. He pulls on the Carlton jumper every week and gives his all, and I think that he's going to be doing that for a long time.
My mail, if you want percentages, 0% chance of leaving, and TDK's the opposite. He's at 100% gone down to St Kilda. The Charlie one came on the back of a catch-up between the management and new incoming footy boss Graham Wright. So they've had a chat, and I think they both thought that the other was shopping him around.
Oh, right.
But they've sat down and gone, no, we weren't. Oh, perfect. He stays.
And then the media's caught on to that.
And somehow that's sort of slid out the side door from whichever way, and that's where that story's come from. So, 0%. With a large degree of confidence, a ridiculous degree if it's 0 because it can't get any lower.
Yeah, and we'll bury it. But even on the weekend, he's kicked a goal in the first. He hadn't kicked a goal for a long time, and then he's kicked 2 in the first quarter. So imagine just the relief that he'd feel. Yeah. Obviously being part of a win, but getting the monkey off the back of his
There's a relief on my bet slip as well. I followed him for about 10 weeks, fellas. Anyway, we keep going. Do we stay there? And if you wanted just a reminder, Daisy is your man when it comes to contracts. Matt Rowell, he said he'd sign after the bye. Well, he signed at half-time after the bye, and he's just told you 0% chance and 100% chance that TDK is going to the Saints. Righto, let's just stay on contracts for one. We've got a couple more, but Bontempelli, Wal, you said he's staying. We had a hypothetical, I think, last week or the week before, but he has re-signed and committed to the Western Bulldogs to 2029. Was he ever really a flighty risk?
No, he wasn't. Obviously, he's been a He's a future Hall of Famer. He's a legend. And look, it's been a
flighty risk.
Fuck me. Who wrote flighty on the run sheet?
That's when you sort of.
Where's Tristan? Is he hiding out the back? Why was he writing flighty before that word? Why do we need to put that in there?
flighty risk. No, he was never a flighty risk, Tommy. He was always going to sign. But we did mention though.
What does a flight risk mean versus just a risk?
A flight risk is when you're going to flee the country and you've got enough cash to do it or get on a private jet. A flighty risk was maybe a chance.
Yeah, there you go. A few tradies listening, they're just, on the tools right now. Just good little education. Keep going, Wal.
You said you were ridiculously confident for good reason.
Yeah, for a good reason. And he mentioned in his press conference that there's a lot going on in his life, with upcoming wedding and the opening of his cafe. Arthur's another shout out. But I think it was a really important week for the club. So they had a centenary celebration on Monday night where they presented the 25 greatest ever Bulldogs to pull on the jumper. And I'm going to just take you to the top 5.
Please do.
Yeah, because there's a few massive names, and Marcus did make the top 5.
Didn't make the one.
He wasn't number 1, but I'll tell you who was number 1, and there's probably there's a fair bit of evidence to suggest that number 1 deserves to be there. But the other 4,
Danny Southern
was not in the top 5. No,
bloody good player.
He was a good player.
Three-quarter sleeves up, mullet before it was
trendy. He was welfare. I don't know if he still is, but at Freo. The boys love him, yeah.
Ever bring his pet snake?
He used to be a real madman on the field, didn't he?
Yeah.
But then he's the opposite with the boys. He's very calm and cool.
Very calm. You talk about a caretaker. He'd be a caretaker and the one that you rely on.
But had pythons, yeah?
Loved pythons.
Yeah, like snakes.
At home?
Proper, yeah.
What, playing around with a python at home?
Big pythons, yeah.
Means different things, doesn't it? I mean, yes, sicko.
Let's not go down that tangent. But anyway, we'll get back to the 5.
So yours mice, I'll be concerned.
Oh, wow. Anyway, straight and narrow now, boys.
Top 5.
So Dougie Hawkins, obviously legend of the club. They've named a wing after him down at Whitten Oval, 329 games. Number 4 is Gary Dempsey, one of the best ruckmans to ever grace the field. Yes, and a Brownlow medalist.
Intercept marker.
Number 3, Chris Grant. He's been in the top 3 in the BNF 6 times. He was an All-Australian forward and back, so centre-half forward and centre-half back, so the versatility there.
Seeing some of his clips, he was just such a polished player. Big, strong, but just poise and balance, which in that sort of era wasn't overly common. It was a bit more bash and crash.
And you talk about a young player kicking 50 goals in his first season. Like, imagine
is that how many times leading goal kicker? Because he's in rare company.
He'd be a few, but because he played a lot centre-half back as well, he wasn't always playing down forward.
You and him, that's what I was going.
Well, definitely. We're probably the same calibre, to be honest. Yep. And then we have, so that was, Chris Grant at number 3. Number 2 is Marcus Bontempelli. Obviously, he's got a massive rap sheet. But signing another 4 years, if he continues at this,
it's a challenge
at this rate, it's a challenge.
It is.
If he was retired, it would have been an interesting debate.
This is a JL subbing Voss 2 weeks later, expecting output. This is what they're doing. They're saying, Marcus, great mixes. Marcus, here's 2. We want you at 1 at 2029.
But he's at 253 games, signed 4 years, so he averages 20 games a year. That pushes him
What's
up
that
around.
push him to, Tommy?
80 plus. So that pushes him to about 330-ish.
Plus, and if we
I'm actually good
finals,
at maths, Daisy, you smart ass. If you ask me about English, I'll be cooked.
Spell 330.
Bloody.
So that brings us to a number 1. And anyone who follows football or has seen football over the last 100 years would recognise Teddy Whitten. He's in the team of the century and captain for the AFL. He was given the nickname of Mr. Football because he sort of transpired the sport beyond the ground. And I'm not sure if you guys can remember, but his last public appearance, which was really, really emotional, was 1995 when he did that lap of honour. And I can still, you talk about getting shivers now.
State of origin when it meant so much.
Yeah. And he'd given so much to the game and really transcended the game. In my eyes, he's a worthy number 1 because I reckon he'd be in the top couple, for the AFL of the whole history. So that's the top 5, rounded out with Teddy Whitten. So well done on a good night for the club as well on Monday night. And hopefully, the Dogs are sitting 9th now. They can turn around this season and get something out of it, really.
Well said, Wal. That is, it's an amazing list. You forget about all the, all those players and all the ones that probably were top 25. Is there one that stood out just that you just loved? Like,
Tommy Libber made it.
Did he?
Yeah.
What number was he? 20?
No, they only did the top 5. But in terms of services to the club and consistency over a period of time, I think he's been in the top 3 7 times in the BNF.
Wow.
And continually on, and probably should be there again this year. So
anyone else? Did the old man make it?
His old man made
it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Father-son.
So father-son. And there's a great photo, I'm not sure if you can get that graphic up, of the 25 that made it, who are still with us. So it was a great, footage, a bit of footage for the club and the history. So
Brilliant.
well done to that. And to our man, Tommy Libba.
Well,
that's huge.
You know what that says? That says that Bont was always signing and they were always dropping it this week because they had that. And this is something for us looking forward, boys. If there's ever a big story or a big name coming up, let's look at the calendar the club has. And if they've got a big night like this, it wouldn't surprise me if they just roll it out. It's what you do. You have a marketing plan and they would say, let's drop it right here.
Or some players down the bottom end after they have a bad loss, just to get the supporters on side. There's often a few rolled out. So good point, Tommy.
Yep, very well. Okay, let's keep moving quickly. Harley Reid presented the Eagles with a 2-year, $2 million extension plus 9 on top of that with the trigger that he can only trig. Boys, just quick ones on that.
He'll be paid $2 million throughout his contract. And just with the way it's going to work, it reported throughout the week that there was not a whole lot of interest from Victorian clubs anymore. Can categorically say that isn't the truth. There's only probably 3 that aren't keen. And they're your sides, Carlton, Collingwood, and potentially Geelong, who may not have the capacity to get him in. But everyone else, I know he's certainly on the table. But with the TPP increases, so there's 30% in a couple of years, then 15 again after Tassie come in or before Tassie comes in. That's 45% of your salary cap that can jump up. So $2 million isn't probably as far-fetched as we're probably sitting here and looking at now. He's going to be very well paid. He's going to be the highest paid player in the comp, and I still think for bloody good reason because he's going to be a superstar.
And you talk about being good at maths, Tommy. So this check that he's going to sign is going to be in the realms of $20 million, which is a big number. Now, we talk about $2 million not being a lot in terms of the salary cap, but if you took at the longevity of this contract,
20 mil.
20 mil. Imagine just putting that in the sky.
But again, that's what the players should be getting paid for, what
That's
the
where the
game's
game's
doing
going,
and what the game is generating for revenue and how much percentage the players still get of it compared to sort of your NBA, your NFL models. It's still lower end. So for players, I know there's a lot of people out there saying you're overpaid, whatever it is. When you're a kid and you've been on the back page of the paper 50 plus times and you're the only person anyone talks about in Western Australia, whether you're in that state or not, pay him as much as he's deserving and he should just sit there. And I know he's given the bird a few times, but this is an official bank check bird to anybody who's doubted him.
Yeah, well said. He deserves all of it. He's a pin-up man, and that's the thing. The use of image that you don't get that in the paper, do you? But imagine you did. He'd have a $2 million check already.
The amount of times that his name has been mentioned in any media outlet in the last 6 months.
There wouldn't have been a week where he hasn't been mentioned.
Nah, of course. And even when he plays good or bad, it's just always him.
To his credit, he actually had a good game on the weekend.
Yeah, he's just starting. He's starting to get going.
Yeah.
When he's really hard fit, which he'll be soon. It's going to be
after
scary.
a big preseason.
You think year 3 and 4 is just going to go bananas.
That's when your body sort of changes.
And the 2-year deal, I like it because it's on the club to build the culture, make him feel supported, and he can just hit that little trigger and say, you know what, I'm ready to hit that 9-year extension now. I think that's the best part about it.
That's the power of the player at the minute.
That exactly. Yep. He's got all the he's got everything.
Do you reckon that will be the deal he signs, though?
I think so. I think Paul Connors, he's with Connors, isn't he?
Yeah, potentially.
I think he's with Connors management. I reckon they're going, do the 2-year deal, settle in for another year, and if you like it, let's just hit that button and say we want to be here for life.
Is that entertaining Tassie as well?
Or Paul's a smart man. He'll say maybe we don't hit that till the end of your second one, and we might ask for an extension on the night. I don't know, but it's one of the positions that not many players will ever be in. Let's put it that way. You'll never have that much power as a player.
Do you have an issue with it? What he's going to get paid? Because that's been the talking point.
No issue at all.
Good.
No issue at all.
No.
And I think if you're a club that's trying to get him, it'd be very hard to work around what you're going to give up because I sometimes think clubs give way too much up for one player. I think it's one of those ones where it's like, let West Coast sign him for a bomb and you just go out and find the next one because it's kind of giving away 3 or 4 first rounders and all these players for one player. It's a team sport. I sometimes struggle with the thought of it. Yeah.
But you made a good point. I know we're going back over it, but the salary cap increase is a really big
it's such a chunk in a short period of time.
Yeah, so there's going to be available cash. And for those that aren't locked in, now Marcus, again, will probably he's a player that's probably part of that in terms of his uplift. But I just think it's going to play such a big role in some of these kids coming through that the $2 million is going to be thrown around a lot now. And he's probably just the first cab off the rank that's going to be scrutinised more than any other.
All right, boys, quick one. Stephen May is going to the tribunal tonight. Just give me how many weeks he'll get.
0. He gets off. Has to
get off too.
I think he deserves to get off. I'm going to go with Toby Green. He said 3. Toby hasn't missed all year on the TFG Tuesday podcast, so I'm going to go 3. But I hope it's zero.
Is it a landmark case?
Like absolutely.
Yeah.
This, the fabric of the game, which gets questioned a lot, this absolutely tugs at that. It's a 50-50 contest. If the ball continued to roll as it was going to be his ball first. The nature of how an oval ball works, it's set up. Frankie got there first. And I was discussing this earlier today with a couple of blokes. If Stephen May wanted to shit mix him, he could have run straight through him, and that is just a shift of your body to run straight on that line and almost avoid contact. It's a bigger man. He nearly had the ball. He looked surprised when he didn't have the ball. I would be shocked if he didn't get off, and if he does, if he gets weeks, wait for the backlash.
Well said. I just want to say I think he gets zero. I want him to get zero, and the game should be zero because it's an accident. Mm-hmm. But the letter of the law and what they've done, and our man at TFG has been red hot. I'm going to say 3.
I'd love this to be one of the cases that Greg Swan, the incoming man, goes, hang on a minute. If you're all happy, I'd love to take the floor. 0 weeks. This is a footballing act. And the joint would rejoice.
It's probably a great one for him to start, isn't it? Just to come in and just go bang.
I don't think anyone is questioning whether or not, and I haven't heard the narrative that Stephen May was trying to clip him. No. I don't think that was a decision at all. It just happened. So if that's the case, common sense should prevail. And this is a man you've bought in for that exact reason. What a way to start.
It's time to start previewing the week. And it's also time for Daisy's power rankings. It's been a while. And the last time he had these, there was a lot of people's comments. I can't wait to see what Daisy's got. Me and Wal aren't across these, so we are going to pepper him back. But Daisy, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, there will be – so these are the power rankings as I saw it, rounds 13 through 19, and there will be out on socials the predicted finishes, as I said. So we'll get the list of what the algorithm and the numbers say, who's beating who and why. But the first couple are probably, when you look at the ladder and as it stands now, not overly surprising for the first one. The 9th seed currently is the Dogs, 10 and 8 as we sit. They've got the best, 4th best percentage at 127.4. They've had the 4 wins in this block and the 3 losses. Their wins have been to St Kilda, Richmond, Sydney and North, and the losses have been to Hawthorn, Adelaide and Brisbane. So for me, says enough. They are the number 1 team points per game at 105, but they're the 9th of the top 9 defensively, giving up the most, 82. The only side in that top 9 that gives up more than 80 points. So they're your 9th seed. The 8th seed and sneaking in this little model is the Gold Coast Suns.
Wow.
Sitting there 11 and 6, percentage 115.5. Percentage this time of year gives you a really good indication of how sides are going. They're the 8th worst percentage inside that top 9. 3 wins, 3 losses, 3 wins against Melbourne, Essendon, Collingwood, the big get. But then the losses to the Cats, the Giants and Adelaide. 61 points arguably undoes that big win. 5th points for, 8th points against. So struggling to defend, as we know. This one, the 7th seed is probably going to shock a few people. But again, it is 13 through rounds 19. Geelong.
Wow.
Geelong. So they're currently 12 and 6. They had 4 wins and 2 losses through that period. Gold Coast was their biggest scalp, 24 points. Richmond, St Kilda and Essendon they beat up on. But their 2 losses, 41 points to the Lions and 26 to GWS. They're 2 sides that are going to be around the mark, you'd think. No good beating up on the teams that aren't going to be there if you can't get it done against the sides that will. And the Gold Coast win, if you remember, 24 points. Shocking game, GMHBA, wet winter's day. You can give it to them, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of confidence. 2nd points for, 99.9. They're going really well there. And 6th defensively. So still giving up a score, solid enough. 6th spot, the Hawthorn Footy Club. Hockball is at back. 5 wins and 1 loss through this period. Got some scalps. The Western Bulldogs, Adelaide, the top 2 names. Flog North, St Kilda, Port Adelaide. Their one loss was Freo, 13 points. But you remember that game while you were, you had them 1-39. Hawthorn did a lot right in that game and not good enough. 8th offensively, but 2nd defensively. So there's probably a little bit of a myth that people don't know about the Hawks. Again? 8th offensively, 88.4 points per game on average. 74.3 they're giving up across the season.
They're good defensively.
2nd rated defence in the competition.
Wow.
They got the 5th best percentage. Your 5th side is your boys, the Wolfies.
Ooh, I thought you might have had them higher, mate. They've had a big month.
They have. So 5 wins and a loss. The loss hurts because it was to Sydney, and I've sort of factored in that's a game they should have won.
Yep.
But the
Can I just ask you something? Have you seen Sydney's form, though? Does that factor it in?
It does to some extent, but I still think they should have been beating them if they are. They beat North Melbourne by 6 points. That's not a good enough form reference. Essendon 41, St Kilda 12. That should be 24 plus in my eyes. Hawthorn 13 is a good one, and then the Pies on the weekend. So to go back to back with those wins there to finish off, they're really in a nice position. Not scoring enough still, 83.9. That's the worst in that top 9.
What's their rank? 9?
Ninth. They rank fourth defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So they're going to play, and you look at their percentage, which is the worst, 108.9.
That's low.
That is low.
They need to get that offense going.
Well, that's close games. And if they don't get that going and they get an opportunity this weekend against West Coast, they need to bump that up. But if you let teams hang around in finals, you're going to get bit in the arse. Your 4 seed, the GWS Giants. Here we go. So they've had the 5 wins, 1 loss, 5 wins, and they got some scalps. The Brisbane Lions and the Gold Coast Suns, bloody good form line. You look at they had the Cats in there too, sorry. Essendon, West Coast, 48 and 59 points. That's just getting the job done. The loss to Port Adelaide hurt, 16 points. However, I can cop it. 7th for points per game 4, which again might have been catching some people out. These get pretty tight. 90 flat is their average score. And again, a good indication if you are playing your same game multis and that as to high scoring lines and whatnot. 77.6 points against, which is the 5th best defence in the competition with the 7th best percentage. So they're probably over-indexing in this period as opposed to what they've done throughout the whole year. 3rd seed, again, maybe a surprise. The Pies.
Not really. I reckon they've lost 2 of the last 2.
And if you look deeper, they're just going. So the win against Melbourne, fall in. St Kilda 34, West Coast 29, Carlton 56. And then you come up against 2 good sides. Gold Coast you lose and Fremantle you lose. So it's a little bit of a false economy. They don't have the easiest of runs home either. 4th for points per game 4, 1st defensively. That's a massive.
First defensively?
68.5 they're giving up, and they've got the 2nd best percentage in the competition, which leaves your 2nd seed is the Brisbane Lions.
There you go.
So there is one still coming. I'm not sure if you've cottoned on to who I've missed. The Lions, they've had the 4 wins, and these are 41-point win against the Cats. That's a statement. Got 10 to the Dogs, rolled Port and Carlton in between. 5-point loss to Adelaide, but if you go back to that game, 0 goals, 8 in the last quarter. So that should have been a win.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
And 11 points to the Giants as well in a game that was an arm wrestle. Again, could have very closely won it. 116.6 is their percentage, which is 7th. So in terms of close games and when they can put sides away, the weekend was probably a really good example. Inaccurate in front of goal, they could have turned that into a 7-goal win against the Dogs. But in this period, rounds 13 to 19, your number 1 seed is the Adelaide Crows.
The Crom.
Yeah, I like
the
that.
Crom. 5 wins, 1 loss. Their 1 loss was to the Hawks in Utahs by 3 points in a game they led nearly wire to wire.
That got our propeller. That was what won Port Arlington all that cash, by the way. So I just wanted to mention that one.
And a couple of their wins, or 3 of their wins through that period, Brisbane Lions, the Dogs, and the Gold Coast Suns, emphatic on the weekend, 61 points, averaging 99.2 points per game 4, which is 3rd in the comp. And they got the 2nd best defence now, 71.1 they're giving up. So we spoke to Jordan Dawson, we'll keep referencing this, at Gather Round when they were humming. He said, no, don't worry. We want to be defensively sound. So they're now 2nd in that category, and they've got the best percentage in the comp, sitting at 139.6. There's a comprehensive wrap of your power rankings.
Oh, very good. Very good, Daisy. Well done on all the detail. That's very helpful. I just want to recap a couple of things. Yeah. I missed the Lions. What were the Lions' record? And I want to know what their offense and defense rankings were again.
So they went 4-2 through that period. I had them at 2nd. Beat the Cats by 41, the Dogs by 10. Port Carlton in between that by 28 points, 37 points. Yeah. Decent enough margins. That Carlton game was clinical. They could have won by 100. And their losses were 5 points to the Crom, which they should have won, and GWS by 11 points.
But what were their rankings for offense?
Offensively, 6th.
6th, and defense?
5th.
Yep. So and then what were the Pies again? 4th and 1st?
They were 4th and 1st.
Okay, cool.
So
the Pies have the best defense, and then it goes to Adelaide. They have the 2nd best defense. And then the best offense goes to who again? Dogs.
The Dogs are number 1 for offense.
The Dogs have the best offense, and they sit 9th. There you go. So we know that it's all about defense. That's interesting stuff. Yeah. Well, what did you take?
I got a question. So Geelong, I remember we sat here probably, again, whether it was a month ago, and said Geelong are bound for top 2. They're going to get a home final. Why has their decline in output been so drastic?
Well, when I put the predicted finish on, they've got the softest run home. So even including the game they had on the weekend, they're the only side in that top 9 that doesn't play a side in that top 9. That makes sense. So they're just beating up on the bottom 8 sides all the way home. So I just don't think, when you're looking at your 6th giving up scores, second 4, and that's a concern. But the 2 big tests within that were probably the Lions and the Giants. 41 points is a decent margin to be beaten by against a side that is going really well, but then 26 points as well to the Giants. Question marks. Gold Coast, they beat, as I said, down there on a day that, not conducive to what the Gold Coast were doing. I know you can only beat what's in front of you, but that's the reason why I had them sitting in 7th, but I still believe they'll be finishing top 2 for home finals.
I like it. I must say, if Fremantle can get their offense going, they are going to be hard to beat. But the Giants, I'll remind you, no Hogan for two of the games, and Sam Taylor hasn't been playing for a while. So
he's not far away though.
I know. So you whack him back in.
Brent Daniels a couple of weeks away too.
Brent Daniels as well. There's a lot still to come in, and we know the package just starting to heat up. So Cadman's firing. Anyway, well done, Daisy. That is awesome. We're going to get that online. Everyone get in the comments on YouTube, socials. You let us know, because we're going to come back next week and give Daisy some feedback. And I'm just going to tease. Wal's going to do his All-Australian next week. We wanted to put more energy into the power rankings because Wal has his team ready to go, but we're going to give him one more week. We want to make it a feature of next week's show. Righto, lads. Plenty there. Daisy, well done. Let's preview the games ahead. It's time to get to our favourite segment, the Propeller. We need to hit this round 20. As we said, it's always pays about 20 to 1. We've already donated 11.5 plus. So just one big win on the Propeller would be nice. But let's preview some games. And all of a sudden, Thursday night football, Doc's last game ever as a Blue. This is now big. The line, 25.5 points better giving, and Carlton at $5. Can they do something crazy and upset the Hawks on prime time?
They can. It'll be bloody tough, and it'd be a really good thing to see. Look, the wire to wire, we've sort of floated in that. I can see them leading at some stage in this game, but I don't think, unless they can find a way to limit the scoring, which they've really struggled with. The Hawks are a really professional outfit, and they're sort of trying to hone their game. That on the weekend was pooch down in Tassie. But I think the response comes, but after that, we all know once the emotional response goes and it just gets down to a game of footy, I think we all agree that Hawthorn are playing the better ball at the minute. So I think they will be winning that one, but I really do look forward to seeing what they do for Doc.
Yeah, I'm looking forward too. Like, it's Thursday night, so prime time. Surely they bring some emotion, and as Daisy said, whether they can sustain that for 4 quarters, I'm unsure. Hopefully weather doesn't play a role. Hopefully it's a clear night and it can be free-flowing footy because it has been bloody cold in Melbourne lately, and we're getting to the
Not as cold as Port Arlington.
Not as cold as Port Arlington last Thursday night. But look, it'll be a great game. Again, we'll celebrate Doc, hopefully celebrate a great game of footy. But as you mentioned, I think Hawthorn will comfortably win by about 5 or 6 goals.
If this wasn't a Thursday night and I could propel about this, I'd be having Paddy Cripps 30 plus.
I've just got have got something exactly what you're saying.
He'll get the chest out. We saw the connection with Doc, Charlie Curnow as well, really good mate. So I reckon he'll be pretty keen to hit the scoreboard and be really aggressive in the contest. So if you're playing in your same game multi-areas, I reckon there's a good couple of places to look. Before
I go to our best mate and stat mate, that is, and just cross-reference what you've just said, the other one that screams out to me is TDK. I reckon Vossi goes, look, put everything behind us. If there's a game that we need you to just play ruck, not forward, and dominate, can you do it for Doc? I've just got a feeling TDK goes back in the ruck and it just dominates. And this is a game they prepare like a final. They don't play TDK forward and Pittonet ruck and start thinking about the young guys getting new positions. I think everyone goes back to their best positions and they give themselves every chance to win this.
And Lloyd Meek's in bloody good form too, so you need to we know Pittonet's playing some pretty good role by the numbers. He's been more solid than TDK in the minutes per ruck, probably slightly biased for how much time Pittonet's got in there. I know it works out percentages, but do with that what you will. You need to go in there and make a statement. And the first centre bounce, if you've got a bloke who can put his knee into the opposition ruckman and set a tone, TDK's your guy.
There you go. And you talk about the emotional pool that Voss will play. There's going to be no metaphors this week. It's all real. It's all about the Doc. So if TDK can pull into that and the other players can pull on those emotional strings, there's no whether it works or not. Everyone should come for Doc.
Did you say we can't go Thursday night for a Propeller? Because I've got my options I haven't mentioned to you, and one of them might have been the guy you mentioned.
Yeah, well, I thought we had a little handshake agreement that we wouldn't go Thursday or Friday night, and after what you dished up on Friday, stinky pooch.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, StatMate, it's your best mate when it comes to building a multi or arming yourself with everything you need to know about the game of football. The best part about it, in my opinion, it's free. So download it on the App Store. Let's go to a couple of StatMate specials. They've been red hot. So listen up, everyone. Patrick Cripps has had 25 plus disposals in all of his last 7 matches versus Hawthorn. He averages 27.5 per game. And if you go on the PointsBet app, you can get 25 plus for $1.95.
And a goal too. I'm just
at the moment, that is. Jack Gunston for Hawthorn. He's kicked 2+ goals in all of his last 5 meetings with Carlton and 12 of his 15 matches this season. That's 2+ at $1.44. So if you just put them together, you're probably getting 3 or 4.
Some of his goals down at Tassie though.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the almost goal that got touched on the line.
Yeah,
that was bullshit.
in rare form.
All right, lads, we're going to keep moving, but I am heading to this game. This is the past players. They invite 2 gamers, and Heath Shaw is already in the. I've already got a couple of abusive messages from your mate. Did you tell Heath Shaw that I'm doing Dry July?
I didn't know.
Because all of a sudden, Dave Matthews and Heath Shaw have texted me on the way in saying, can't wait to have beers this week. And I'm like, yeah. And I wrote back, can't wait to see you boys. And then they wrote, no, beers, ? And I went, sorry, lads, I'm doing Dry July, and I'm copping it already. Typical Heath Shaw shit.
A Giants past players function in the past, so I must be in the text thread that Dave Matthews sends out. So I can't come along.
That was Cogs' 200.
Yeah. I've been to a few, so it's nice they haven't forgotten about me.
Just a quick one on that game. The Sydney Swans have won 8 of the last 9, lads. You wouldn't believe that, but they've won 8 of the last 9, and the Giants have been humming for a while. Again, I'm going to get to my propeller later, but this is one I've got in the back of my head. 1 to 39 Giants. It's got it all written all over it for me.
Lost the last 5 against the Swans, the Giants.
And one man in particular, when we talk about Sydney Swans, and I might touch on him next week, is Brodie Grundy. Hasn't he turned a corner? Mate, so silk. He's leading the way for the Sydney Swans. And as you mentioned, they're a win behind the Bulldogs. Now, if you think of that, they're at 36 points. Doggies are at 40 points on the AFL ladder. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. To think where Sydney were 2 months ago, in the abyss, probably in your power rankings.
I think they'll almost go sort your footy trip, lads.
Yeah, so there's a pulse.
This will end their season, though. The Giants can end their season.
And they would love nothing more after Sydney ended theirs or sent them off to Brisbane to play Brisbane, which ended it. They hate each other, and I love they lean into it.
They certainly do.
A little bit of controversy, though.
Yes.
That it's on a Friday night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with the Bulldogs and Essendon as well.
What's going on with the fixture? I said it last week. This overlap is huge. Swanee, your first week in, can we get rid of the overlap? I don't know why we've got 2 primetime games. Obviously, Essendon are struggling with their injury list, but why have we got 2 overlap games on a Friday?
And half an hour separates them as well.
I know.
If you're tuning in and you get stuck watching the Bulldogs Essendon game,
just lock it on Channel 7 to see Daisy.
There you go.
Tell me, Daisy.
Salad.
Daisy with the new salad. I love that. Are you covering the Giants game or the Melbourne one?
No, the Melbourne one. I'm at Marvel.
You got the doggies and the. That's huge.
No, good game. It'll be a bloody good game.
It's been close the last 10 hours.
It has. Yeah,
quickly on that. So, quick tip for you boys: Sydney or Giants?
Giants for me, and I think they can get it done rather easily.
That's why I'm worried about the 1 to 39.
Yeah, Giants will get it done.
Okay, Essendon Dogs. Just that we must. So, hey, shout out to Essendon. They embarrassed us last week. We all said maybe 100 or 80, and we all got everyone in the comments. Thank you to everyone on YouTube.
Win that, then?
I don't know who won it because it
went unders.
Well, it was only about 48 or something.
That's all right, I won that.
What about the line? So the line goes up there at 44.5. It flooded between 44 to 46, and they win by 48. You just sit
Darcy
there and go,
Jones kicked a goal with 30 seconds to go. Everyone that had the line would have been going, please kick it.
Yeah, everyone.
Well, I teased it to 60, so I was flapping.
Brown bread.
Okay, we're going to keep flying through, but this one's big, the Q clash. Yep. No Touk Miller hurt, so I did feel like the leadership last week, they really lacked it, but teams don't roll out the same as they did the week before. They were really average against the Crows, and a game we built up. We had Mac Andrews join us, and he got to go to Big Thilthorpe. Adelaide were 50 to 3 or something at the end of the second quarter. It was ugly. So this is going to be an interesting game. Wal, take it away.
Yeah, I'll take it away, and we'll start with Brisbane. Obviously had a great win up at home against the Dogs. Look, Dunkley, he's had such a strong back half of the year and continued that kind of form. And then we have the Ashcroft brothers, kicked 5 goals between them. So they're taking the piss. They've got so much firepower, but this next month will really sort them out. We touched on before that Adelaide are number 1 in the power ranking, sitting only 2 points behind Brisbane. And Brisbane now have Collingwood, Sydney, Freo and Hawthorn to finish off the year. after playing the Gold Coast Suns. So a lot of quality teams in there, and you just would hate to slip up and not get the home final that they probably deserve currently. And then if we look at the Gold Coast camp, like you said, a week's a long time in footy after we lauded them for their biggest win in their club's history against Collingwood to come out and put that up. And like you said, it was 50-3 at half time. And I think the league got out to 70 points. So really disappointing from the Gold Coast Suns' point of view. But I've got 5 names here. I've got King, Walter, Long, Witts and Noble. They need to lift a lot because they'll pour on the weekend. But it comes down to this. If they want to be revered and be seen as contenders, not pretenders, if they put out another performance like they did on the weekend, well, you can really write the September success off. But if they win, again, against a big side that's going really well, you have to throw them back in the mix. So for mine, I think Brisbane will get it done. They'll get it done comfortably enough. But, I'm just looking for a big response from Gold Coast.
I'm sort of in a similar camp. I want to see the response for the Gold Coast Suns with how they have the run home. So they've got two games against sides inside the top 9, the Brisbane Lions and Giants. That's coming up. But they've got 4 against bottom 9 sides. So this isn't exactly mayday if they lose it. They need to be better. But it's so hard to go past what Brisbane are doing. They've been fantastic. And if you actually look at the Gold Coast now, last 6 quarters, they're very good in the first 2 quarters against the Pies, but pooch in the second, and then gone out and that form rolled on. They need to sort something out because I think the win against the Pies, fantastic, but I think you just wipe that after what they served up on the weekend. Damien Hardwick, unbelievable manager of players and also emotion. They would have learned a lot from that. They need to respond, but I think the Lions in a close one.
Touk Miller not playing, just keep your notepads out because if they get blown out again, then when he doesn't play versus plays, they're a completely different side. I don't know what it is, leadership. Obviously, he's an amazing player and the role he plays, but just keep your eye on that. If they don't rock up here, they might limp into finals because they play Essendon twice, but it's not the way you want to go into finals. Boys, let's fly through here. It's a rivalry round, but Dockers comfortably over the Eagles. They were really bad last week. There's no point talking about it, but as an Eagles fan, I saw a few of them online and they were just filthy because against Richmond, that was like the most competitive game they were meant to have on paper. And they were blown out. And actually, we've forgotten to talk about it, but is it the greatest chase down of all time?
Wow. Yeah, well, probably since the 2011 prelim final. I can't remember who did what, but someone got Cyril with 28 seconds to go. Buddy Franklin won out with Chris Tarrant inside forward, 53 points the margin. I'm not sure. But, but outside of that, it was very, very good. Just the determination. And we love what Morris Rioli Jr. is doing because he's gone from your 8-possession player, a couple of tackles. He's now finding the prune as well as this. So that stuff there, that's team lifting.
And the smother inside 50 as well, which resulted in a score. But I think we touched on it off air about Adam Uze and how the expectation going into the season was when's your first win going to come? No aura
was the call from old mate.
But 0 wins was something I put my hand up for.
Yeah, we all had a bit of a laugh about that.
2.5, I think, for wins.
Everyone disrespected them. Everyone.
Well, I don't think it was disrespectful. I think
it was. We said they wouldn't win 3 games and we said they potentially might not win a game. That's disrespectful.
Well, I think it was an honest appraisal of what we saw in front of us.
But they're doing it with injuries and players out.
No.
So that's just positive. I'm saying
but really this is sort of where I was getting, and you are to Adam Uze, is the fact that he's got the side that, on paper, you look like you probably weren't going to roll out and beat too much, and you've won your 5 games to this point in the season with a chance to a sneaky couple of upsets on the way into with St Kilda and North Melbourne to come.
But they're looking like they're having fun. Like I love a young team, Richmond. Even the supporters, watching those young players develop and have fun and enjoy their footy. I think that's what all fans wanted to see. And it's great from an observer to see that happening.
I'll tell you what, the Eagles boys would not be having fun is North. North were putchy last week. The North are very inconsistent. We'll talk about them next week. But if I fly through the rest of the games, we've got the showdown. Adelaide should win that comfortably.
Kenny's last showdown.
Kenny's last showdown.
We love you, Kenny.
Great note. And just on the Suns game, but there's some rain predicted, boys. And the Lions 4-0 in the wet. Suns are 0-3 according to our friends at Foxcatcher. So that's an interesting one because I thought that the Suns like it wet, but it says the Lions love it more. So we keep moving here. Richmond, Collingwood, dead rubber. St Kilda and Melbourne to finish it off 15th v 13th. That's going to be an interesting one. That might be competitive. That might be our last bet on the propeller when we ask someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think we wrap this up with the previews and we get to our favourite segment. And it is all time for our Get the Stinger Up. It's the Prophet Propeller time. And gee whiz, let's hope it goes better than how I just pronounced it. as we said on socials, but if you haven't seen it, we have a new club, and that club is going to be the what, Daisy?
The Melton Football and Netball Club, and they are the Bloods.
The Bloods. Jeez, haven't we been bleeding, boys?
we
We've been
have.
bleeding. So
Need to stem it.
maybe that's an omen for us. Well, I think we get ready. Do you want to do our tips first?
Tips first.
Let's go.
Okay.
I got an even 2-bucket to start. Josh Tracy against West Coast. We know that Fremantle, and I've just pointed in the rankings that they need to find some percentage. They're out for a real kill. He'll kick 3 or more. I believe that's $2. Thank you very much.
Oh, lovely.
Sharp.
Jeez, okay, well, you're up.
I'm heading to the Q Clash.
Yeah, you are.
The Brisbane v Gold Coast. Now, you mentioned it before. Brisbane 4-0 in the wets. Gold Coast 0-3. So I'm going Brisbane 1-39.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't think there's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. You get $2.20 for that margin. So that'll fall. That's 2 from 2.
Yep.
Tommy, you've got 5 to choose from.
I'm struggling, boys. I think I've come off a loss, and it's a bit of the head noise, so
Yes.
I need a little bit of help here.
No.
I've
Just
got-
look at it and
No, well, I've looked at
don't
a
even
few.
put the other ones out in the ether.
Well, can I just tell you what I'm thinking?
No.
It's going to make it more enjoyable because I think they'll go 5 from 5, but it's about which one do we pick.
every one of them.
All right.
Okay, just weather. Quickly check the weather. But Dacos 35 against Richmond. Richmond allowed the most disposals to any midfielder in the comp. He had 43 last week. He's playing purely for Brownlow votes in this game. There's nothing else to achieve. The Pies will smack him. They come back from Perth. They'll be
Pissing
fatigued.
rain. Officially.
Pissing rain.
Like, that's
They
what-
don't tag, so
that
he just
was
runs
the-
around and gets as many handballs and kicks as possible. Just what do we got here? The weather. Thank you. Just checking out the weather in Adelaide because I'm thinking Rankin for 2 as well.
I
I'm
like
also
that.
thinking
That's
GWS 1-39. I'm also
no,
thinking
don't like that.
Paddy Cripps 25 plus. I think
yeah.
it just went to $2
Did he?
for. Yes, there's the weather. So I'm just trying to work it all out. Thursday night, Rankin in the showdown. No Rochelle. I've got Dacos 35 in a Brownlow year. Boys, help me out a little
Nah,
bit.
I can't. You've got to put your
come
plums on the line. This ain't us.
All right, I'm going to go Isaac Rankin for 2
There we
goals.
go in the showdown.
In the showdown.
all the bets, that's the one.
8-10. That is the one. If Nick Dacos has 40, I'll throw up because you boys didn't just tell me what I
You know
wanted
what
to
you'll
do.
see? So when's the showdown? That's on your Sunday round of footy?
8-10.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
So you would have seen that Paddy Cripps has already had his 25 plus, and you'd be sitting there kicking the cat.
Isaac Rankin in the showdown. Kenny's last showdown.
Please dominate.
All right,
He's
I'm
back
going
yourself in,
Isaac
Tommy.
Rankin,
Start.
2 goals
Yes.
against Port Adelaide
Really
in
confident.
the showdown. That is going to be my Prophet Propeller lock.
Good. I love
done.
it.
So Tracy 3,
Tracy 3.
Lions 1-39, Rankin 2, and now we ask the club that we
Bloods.
land on.
And
What are the
also,
Bloods?
No. The Bloods are on the. They're not. They're on the propeller.
Yeah.
Man. Don't confuse
Don't-
them while they get a bit excited.
What about me
I got
merch?
excited then.
Yeah, it is.
Hey,
good.
good. So you've gone and got yourself some caps and some merch.
Well, just on the hat,
Outstanding.
can you take the Found Golf hat off for a second? Because
Yep.
I want people to know that we're going to send them a hat with the best comment weekly moving forward for the rest of the year.
Well, that's
so
a-
you want
that's
hat
a
like
good hat
Daisy?
too.
Comment on YouTube. The best comment is going to receive a hat from us moving forward for the rest of the year, and they are elite with a little powered by PointsBet on the side.
It does say in there, T's and C's apply, and you're not guaranteed to look this good.
All right, boys, get up on the propeller. Let's finish off in style.
You know what? I'm putting the Aces hat on too. Let's
All right,
go.
we need something here. We need something. So, as we said, Melton, they enter, and I've got a mate that's reached out. He's the representative of Greenville, and he's had enough. They've been there at the start. So, that'll be an interesting watch. See if they go next door again. All right, well, round 20, the Prophet Propeller is off and running. Here we go. Round 20, the winner is going to be the Hawks, the Hallam Football Netball Club, the Hawks. They are going to be kicking it off for the Aces Prophet Propeller, powered by PointsBet this week. There you go, the Hawks. What a nice logo. We'll get in contact with the representative there. I wonder who they lock in. They can't probably go the Hawks because it's Thursday night, or maybe they can.
Maybe
Who
they
knows?
can.
Boys, what a show.
Great
Outstanding.
show. No, and fantastic power rankings. I think that was one of my highlights of,
Thank you very much.
of taking us through that.
We're going to get
Really
the power
detailed.
rankings up. Yeah, really detailed. I
Don't
think
be surprised, man. I'm the hardest working man in world sport.
yes, you've told us that 1,000 times, but you just back it up. And it's all about action here, and you back it
I
up.
did learn a few things. You're the hardest working man. You're really good at maths.
Yeah, that's
Oh, taking the piss out of me, well, very good. Well, that's all I got. Thank you, everyone. Tune in, hit subscribe on that button on YouTube or Spotify, Apple,
yourself
wherever
a
you
hat.
listen to it, and get yourself a hat. Well, you won't be able to get a hat because they're not online. The only way you can get one is if you get in the comments and make it a really good question for next week's show. Wal is going to tease the All-Australian locks and his side. Thank you. See you same time next week. Let's get this Prophet Propeller home.
StatMate makes AFL player stats easy. At the click of a button, you can discover insights like you've never seen before. Disposals and goals to fantasy points, how a player performs at a certain venue, or even when a teammate is out through injury, StatMate has you covered. Don't waste your time. Become an expert in just a few taps of a button. AFL player stats and insights thanks to your new best mate. Download StatMate for free today.